Okay, 7.15, you'll need graph paper for this whole assignment, okay? Okay, the first example, the directions are draw a line with the given intercepts. Okay, so here's what that means. It says the x-intercept equals 3, the y-intercept equals 5. Okay, so here's how you're going to do this. You're going to make two coordinate points. You're going to make these intercepts into coordinate points, okay? So x, y coordinates. Now put your x-intercept of 3 in here and put your y-intercept of 5 in there is how that works. They have to go, they're different coordinates. And then you fill in the rest with zeros. Okay, so remember what this is. So you plot the coordinates, x and y. So x, remember this is positive. For x, this is negative. For y, up here's positive, up here's negative. So let's talk about 3, 0. Now it's positive 3, 0. So on the x line, I go positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, and I don't move anywhere on the y because it's 0. Okay, then 0, 5. Okay, the x line 0 this time, so I don't move sideways. I don't go forward, I don't go backwards, but I do go up 5. 1, because the y is this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1 point crosses the x, 1 point crosses the y, and you take a straight edge and make the line. Okay, next problem. X-intercept is 1, the y-intercept is negative 4. So again, we make those into separate coordinates, x, y, x, y. Okay, so the x-intercept's 1, the y-intercept's negative 4. Those go in different points, so 0, 0. So again, x, y, okay. Positive for x, negative for x. Positive for y, negative for y. So 1, 0, positive 1, 0. So I go to positive 1 on x, and then 0 means I don't go up and down. Okay, the 0 for x means, now I go back to the middle, back to the middle. The 0 for x means I don't move sideways, but I move down 4, because negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Okay, x-intercept equals negative 4, y-intercept equals 2. Okay, so again, you format those into coordinates. Okay, so x-intercept negative 4, so negative 4 there, and then for y, put 2, and then the rest of the coordinates are 0. So x, y, okay, positive this way, negative that way. For y, positive this way, negative that way. So negative 4, 0. So I go backwards, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Okay, the y being 0 means nothing. Okay, 0, 2. So the 0 means I don't go forward or backwards. I go back to the middle and I go up positive 1, positive 2. 1 point should be on each axis. Okay, x-intercept is negative 7. The y-intercept is negative 6. Okay, so negative 7 is my x-intercept, and my y-intercept's negative 6, so 0, 0. So this is x, this is y. Remember, positive this way, negative this way, positive, negative. Okay, so -7 on x, so -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, then I stay right there. Okay, 0, -6, so I will not, so on 0, -6, I go back to the middle, so the 0 on x means I don't go sideways, I just go down 6. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. Okay, and that is how you plot x and y intercepts. They cross the x and y axis. Okay, but the real assignment, the real work on the assignment is graphing equations. So you're graphing, the next part, you're graphing the equation by finding the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Okay, now, here's my equation, 2x minus 8y equals -16. Now here's a nice thing. You don't need to have any letter by itself, so we can forget about that. But what we do need is we need to copy the equation down twice. We need a duplicate copy. Because up here I'm going to do the x-intercept, and here I'll do the y-intercept. So set those into coordinates, like you did yesterday in the last assignment. Now the x-intercept, leave x blank but put 0 for y, and the y-intercept you leave y blank, 0 for x. So what that means with y is you can replace your y with 0, just put a 0. -8 times 0 is 0, because you're just timesing it. So I have 2 times x equals -16, so I just divide by 2, and that would be -8. Okay. Now let's calculate the y-intercept. So x is 0 means I can parenthesize 0 and just cover it with the x with a 0. 2 times 0 is 0, gone. So -8. So -8 times y equals -16, so I divide by -8, and I get 2. Okay, plot them and you can draw your lines. So on the x, positive, negative. On the y, positive, negative. Okay, so -8, 0. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, and then the 0 means I don't move up or down. Okay, now 0, 2. So the 0, I don't move this way, but I go up 2 on the y. Remember, here's the y, +1, +2. And that is my x and y intercept. I have labeled where they cross the x and y axis, and that's your graph. Put arrows on both ends. Okay, next one, we have 3x plus 4y equals 24. So x int, y int. And then we'll need a duplicate copy of the same equation. You just copy the same equation down. So set up those coordinates. So the x-intercept, leave your x empty, but set y as 0. Y-intercept, leave your y empty, set the x at 0. So I'm going to replace my y with 0. 4 times 0 is 0. Then I divide by 3 on each side. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Okay, x is 0. I replace x with 0. 3 times 0 is 0. So I have 4 times y equals 24. Then I divide by 4. I get 6. So here's x, here's y. Positive, negative, positive, negative. So x is +8, y is 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 this way, because that's the positive way. And you just plot the point. 0, 6. So if x, I go back to middle. Now I'm not moving anywhere on the x line. It's just the y line. Y is 6. So +1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you have labeled your intercepts, highlighted those points, highlight the intercepts, and make your line that connects them. Okay, next problem. X minus 2y equals -2. X-intercept, Y-intercept. Okay, so again, I'm going to need a duplicate copy to find the Y-intercept. The X-intercept, I'll just use the original. So XY, XY. So at the X-intercept, we'll put the Y as 0. The Y-intercept, we put the X at 0. Okay, if you want to put a 1 there, be my guess, plus negative. So if Y is 0, we cover up the Y with 0. And then negative 2 times 0 is negative 2. Or no, is 0. So excuse me. Then divide by 1. Negative 2 divided by 1 is negative 2. So that's your X-intercept. Now the Y-intercept, put 0 for X. 1 times 0 is 0. So we have negative 2 times Y equals negative 2. Then I divide by negative 2. And that's going to be 1. Okay, so XY. Positive, negative. Positive, negative. Okay. So negative 2, 0. You go negative this way. Negative 1, negative 2. Plot a point. Now go back to the middle. 0 on X. So we're not, for the second point, we just move on the Y-axis. So positive 1. Points are close together, and that's okay. Okay, next one. Negative 3x plus 3y equals negative 15. So x int, y int. Okay, so my x-intercept. Copy the same equation down. So the x-intercept, I leave x blank, 0. Y-intercept, I leave the y empty and put 0 because I need to find the numbers that go in for x and y. So y is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. So negative 3 times x equals negative 15. So I divide by negative 3. And negative 15 divided by negative 3 is positive 5. Then x is 0. Okay. 3 times 0 is 0. So 3 times y equals negative 15. So I divide by 3. Negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5. Okay, so the x-intercept, x positive, negative, and the y positive, negative. So 5, 0. So positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And y being 0 means you don't have to move vertically. X 0, y is negative 5. So back to the middle. So I don't move vertically, I just move on the y-axis. So negative would be down. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Okay, last two. This one we have negative 3x plus 6y equals 12, and then down here we're going to have x minus 4y equals 8. So x int, y int. Again, for the y-intercept you need to rewrite the equation and then make coordinates. So the x-intercept we're solving, the y goes to 0. Y-intercept, I need y, so the x would go to 0. So y being 0, 6 times 0 is 0. Then I divide each side by negative 3, and I would get negative 4. Okay, x being 0, 3 times 0 is 0. So 6 times y equals 12, so divide by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So x positive, negative, and the y positive, negative. So negative 4, 0. On x is negative 4, so I go negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and I stop and make a point there because I don't have to move up vertically because the y is at 0. Now, 0, 2, I stay in the middle, I go 1, 2. Okay, last one. X int, Y int. Of course, we're going to need to write that down a second time. Okay, so the x-intercept, y-intercept, there's y, but x needs to be 0. So if y is 0, we'll be covering that up. So 0. Negative 4 times 0 is 0. So 1 times x equals 8. So divide by 1, you get 8. Okay, x is 0. You can put the 1 and put 0. 1 times 0 is 0, plus negative 4. Negative 4 times y equals 8, so divide by negative 4. 8 divided by negative 4 is negative 2. Plus negative, plus negative. So 8, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 0, negative 2. So I go on the y line. Negative 1, negative 2. Remember, notice how every one of these problems we've got a point on this line and a point on this line. That's how that works. Okay, then you guys got 4 problems to do on the assignment.